Good morning, Vietnam.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, guys. Sorry we're a little late. We were just getting so prepared for all y'all. Tens of ones of ones. Happy Halloween to you, Grandma. Cam, cheers. Or should I say Blackwater Cam?
Cowboy Joe.
Cowboy Joe. So we
Normal
have
Joe.
Cam is going to be our fill-in once Ty comes back next week, and then Brandon is obviously out and about having fun with the kiddos for Halloween, getting a bunch of cool candy. Hopefully he brings me back some because I would love it.
Three Musketeers?
No, Snickers. Definitely a Snickers guy.
Okay.
Three Musketeers and Milky Way just aren't real candy bars, in my opinion.
Because I know everyone's going to steal the Reese's cups. So
Yeah, that's a real one. Do you put yours in the freezer? I put mine in the freezer. Yeah, you got it. It's delicious. In the comments, what's your favorite candy? Yeah, so we're excited. Cam's excited. Cam's got some really cool, historically accurate, scary stories of wartime. I think, what do we have? World War II, World War One.
I got one from World War One. I got one from Vietnam.
Ooh.
And then I also got a story about George H.W. Bush.
All right. So we got a little bit of fun stuff for you guys tonight.
Yeah, Cam's trying to preserve history, just like you could preserve all your goodies with one of our sponsors.
Excellent segue. And Cam, how can you? What is the best way to preserve?
Putting it in a nice API bag.
There you go. We thank you guys at API for being such cool sponsors since day one with us, especially Beyond Driven. And Cam, how would you want to work out if someone super scary in a mask had a meat cleaver was coming after you?
Very, very hard and vigorous.
Yeah.
So that way I can run away because I will not be able to run. I am a chunky boy.
Well, you don't have to be chunky at Beyond Driven. Voted the best gym and also voted the best in our hearts for all of your gym needs. Yeah, thanks guys for stopping in. We appreciate it. We love you all. Updates on the building. It is getting even cooler than last week and the week before. We will hopefully be able to start this weekend. Actually, I believe we are going to start this weekend and actually getting a bunch of the board and batten up and boarding everything up because the electric, I believe, is done for the most part. At least it's moving in a fast-paced way. So we are looking for people to come out and help this weekend, being Saturday and Sunday. I will be out, probably not with my hat, but I will definitely be out this Saturday to help with that. So any able-bodied people that can take some orders and maybe know a little bit of carpentry when it comes down to cutting boards and putting them up on the wall, we would really appreciate it if you want to stop out. I believe we'll probably be here around 9-10 o'clock or so. So if you want to trickle in at that time or anytime after that, that'd be awesome. We could use the extra set of hands, so that'd be great. Thank you in advance.
I'll wave at you guys from the shop as I work in the building. So
yes. Okay. Ken will also be here, but in spirit.
Yes. Sorry, Brandon, for not helping.
He understands. We have members' hours to take care of.
We're not doing a very good job of that right now.
Okay.
He had to bring me in. I had to be the replacement. Brandon couldn't be here. Ty's out on paternity leave.
I think 15 minutes before actual member hours closes tonight is okay. But yeah, so we're coming down to the end of the year as well with your pistol permit classes for the months of November and December. If you still have not done that, or you know friends and family that still want to do that, we have a couple dates left until we start our new dates, which we have not posted yet because we haven't really hashed it out. We'll hopefully have that hashed out by the end of December. But if you have friends, family, or yourself, if you haven't got your pistol permit yet, those dates are November 2nd and 3rd, the 16th and 17th, and then December 14th and 15th, which we can put a link in there if you want to send that over to your friends or you just want to do it yourself. It is $3.99 for those, and we would love to see you and get that taken care of. But I have got a few more things to talk about, but Cam, if you want to tell a spooky, scary story.
All right. Well, I'm going to start off with the story of the fine President George H.W. Bush. Back in World War II, he was a pilot in the Navy and was actually shot down on a bombing campaign mission with 9 other pilots. And of all the pilots that got shot down over this little island called Chichi-jima, he was the only one to survive. And the reason that he survived was he was in an inflatable boat the Japanese couldn't see. The rest of the airmen got captured, and the Japanese decided to execute them and then eat them because it was near the end of the war. They didn't have enough supplies to keep sustenance to themselves. And then later on, the colonel that was in charge of that Japanese garrison was actually tried for war crimes against humanity and hung in Guam.
All right. So you're telling me that George H. Bush was the tastiest of the presidents, or could have been
Yes.
the tastiest of the presidents?
Well, he wouldn't have been president. He would have been dead.
That's true. But he would have been delicious, according to the Jiminy.
Yeah.
Damn.
I wonder,
That's something.
him and Hannibal Lecter would have gotten along.
Yeah, apparently so. That's crazy. Like some of the stuff that's happened in war times that they don't want. Like, not that they would want to talk about stuff like that, but it's just fascinating to like things that you would think of like in a crazy movie or a television series, like actually happened. It's wacky.
Kind of
for
like
sure.
John McCain survived getting shot down over Vietnam and was in Hanoi Hilton.
Yes. Well, that's talked about.
Yeah,
But-
that's talked about because they tried selling him back to the
Mhm.
government because his dad was an admiral.
Not George Bush being a potentially tasty treat for the
Yeah. He was only a lowly pilot with no contacts back in
Yeah,
World War
yeah.
II.
Yeah.
He wasn't famous yet.
Oh, my wife. Yes. I did decide to wear my Rudy Tooty Western shooty wear. And I think it's very fitting. I should probably shave this. Clean it up.
Don't go as far as me.
Yeah.
I keep getting made fun of.
Cam was like, oh, what do I do? It's so far. Oh, man. Yes. Not really a whole lot, I guess, has been going on besides the shop being built up. We've got a lot of good sales coming for
We do have
Christmas
some weird
time.
things that we saw that High Point and their weird carbine.
Yeah, in the news, that is some interesting stuff. High Point, still trying. They're just like George Bush treading water in the middle of the ocean. They decided to make their PC carbine into a pistol, which is a choice. It's a choice. So they took the regular rifle and smallened it,
Chopped off the stock.
chopped off the stock, and made it so you could put a little pistol brace on it, which is
Scary.
it's I mean, I appreciate that they're still trying. Anyone's still trying to do something. Pistol braces are back on the table, so they probably have been having that sit in their back pocket for a second, waiting for that to come out, which is cool. I appreciate it.
How much was it? Can't be that much.
No, it's like 300 bucks.
Yeah,
there's
it's
like,
a High Point.
yeah, it's not much to it.
It's
maybe-
a boat anchor.
Maybe if that, maybe like 200 bucks.
Wait, are those have the magazine and the pistol grip, so you could potentially make that New York legal on your permit.
Yeah, but what about the weight?
It's heavy.
Oh, that's
The weight,
true.
the weight might give it away.
The weight's probably.
The weight could be an issue.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't, because you are able to hold it with it's kind of the shrouded barrel. See, that's another thing. I don't know if people know a whole lot about is our SAFE Act, and nothing has changed per se. Like, I mean, the magazine capacity has been a different. For those of you who don't know, it is not 7 rounds; it is 10 rounds. Truly, that's like the biggest thing that was changed. But I don't like still for how long we've had it, which is almost 12 years now.
Yeah.
It's wacky. Like, of the things that you could tell that when they wrote it, they wanted certain things to like not be on the table, and then they realized that when there's a
Wait
will,
a
there's a way.
second.
Yeah, dang it, you can't change. But yeah, SafeX sucks. Go vote, please. Which, speaking of, Cam, have you voted yet?
No.
No.
I'm going to vote on Tuesday.
Okay, good.
Like a good American.
Go, go vote, people. Your vote does matter. I know some people think it doesn't, but it does. I promise. What others? Joe, do you have anything?
Wait,
I brought my old paper. I
there
should have brought my
was-
new paper.
there was that other thing. Laser Max. They're not dead.
They're not. Not that they were dying, but sadly, Crossman was sold Daisy purchased them, and LaserMax and Crossman split ways a little bit ago. But LaserMax is still a thing, and they are making a grip sense laser for the Ruger Max 9. So if you have a Ruger Max 9, there is a laser option for you now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that a piece of local. I don't know how local it is though. I don't know how much they've outsourced recently. I feel like they've outsourced a decent amount.
Probably with the
Yeah, they'll still handle it in Rochester, but LaserMax is still doing. They're still doing it. They're still here.
Yeah.
They're ready to rock and roll.
they're still doing their research and development here.
Yep.
Just who knows where everything else is. If someone from LaserMax wants to tell us, we won't.
Yeah,
be
LaserMax,
opposed.
you know you're watching.
What other fun and interesting things have happened recently?
I've been noticing a lot more helicopters.
That is true.
I'm noticing a lot, and maybe Jeremiah. I don't know if he's watching today. He might be out and about for Halloween stuff, but lots of Chinooks, lots of Blackhawks. Just, I mean, I know we're in
Their
that flight path, but
between
man, it's
Drum
like,
and the
Yeah.
Air Force Base, and
it's every day.
I saw it earlier. There was a Chinook, and it was flying because I come through Batavia sometimes. It was doing laps around the airport. Then it took off, and it was flying around. It was doing laps over a cornfield. Then it got higher, and then it flew this way.
That thing, you feel it in your chest
Yeah.
when it flies overhead. You're like, oh, the roof is about to collapse because how manly it is. Man, no questions tonight. I was hoping
It
we-
is Halloween.
Yeah. The spookiest thing about Halloween is no one wants to talk to you. But yeah, guys, if you are interested this weekend, definitely come on out. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like. Of course, I would imagine you would dress accordingly, but boots, if you got them, sneakers, I would suggest against it only because if something were to fall on your little toes, that won't be pleasant. So boots would be probably the best option for something like that. And yeah, just come ready to rock and roll. I'm excited. Finally, do my part. I'm doing my
My
part.
I want to watch Starship Troopers. Dang you.
Yeah.
But should we talk about some more spooky stories?
Yeah, do a spooky story, Cam.
So, my next spooky story involves a little PSYOP campaign. Who doesn't love a good PSYOPs campaign? In Vietnam, using the Buddhist religion against the Viet Cong, called Operation Wandering Soul. So, what they did is they would have Hueys and Chinooks fly over with speakers and stuff on them with recordings of Vietnamese people that were dead flying over the treetops and stuff, telling all of the Viet Cong soldiers and stuff, go home, be with your family. Because one of the things in the Buddhist culture is burying the body relieves the soul. So if you don't bury the body, the soul can't be relieved. So they would use these helicopters playing, go home, or else you'll end up like me. And they would, hang bodies and stuff from trees and stuff that they found
Jeez.
to make it so this entire thing would ramp up. They say it works, but that's a lot of US government talk of it worked, we think.
Sure. Maybe we'll-
Totally worth all the money we spent.
Yeah.
on
Yes.
this.
It worked. There's one village that may or may not have been convinced.
Yes.
Please, more money.
We're going to try it again. But you can actually find the recordings and stuff on like the Smithsonian website
Really?
and listen to
Jeez.
these recordings. They're in Vietnamese, so you don't understand what they're
No, but you could
saying. But
get an
it's
idea
very
probably,
creepy.
probably get an idea from the tone. Jeez. And for those of you that don't know what Cam is dressed as, with his speaking of psyops, Cam really likes the Big Lebowski. No. And he likes
mark it a 0.
Cam, what you want to tell the crew? Because Maria asked, what's Cameroni? You are Cameroni.
So I decided for Halloween to dress up as kind of like your 1990s CIA gray man out hunting for Saddam Hussein. So if I were to stand up, I'm wearing my chalky chip pants and I'm wearing my
You wouldn't see them. They're camouflage.
Yeah.
Come on.
right.
Don't be silly.
I also made myself a nice little CIA name tag using an actual CIA name tag with my actual picture. I look rather creepy.
You look like you're happy to do your job, buddy.
Yes, I'm doing my part to find Saddam and those WMDs
Jeez.
and those Scud missiles.
But yeah, so U.S. Marshal from Texas and CIA Cameroni.
I was walking around with the car 15 earlier, so
That was pretty cool. You looked the part. My leather belt was really digging into my.
were you chafing a little, buddy?
No, it was just.
Are you sure?
I'm a little bit wider than I used to be, so the belt didn't fit so
To
well.
quote Toby Keith, you aren't as good as you once were.
No, sadly. What is it? Laterally
Yeah.
challenged?
You're not vertically challenged.
Well,
Laterally.
someone might argue that.
You're taller than Brian, right?
I think that just goes.
With the territory.
Walk around and just have to push up a little bit. Oh man, fun. But no questions. I'm just hoping.
Yeah, I want some questions.
That was technically a question about the
That's true.
costume.
Maria did say.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
question.
What is the camera on? Oh man.
Didn't you have something you wanted to talk about involving history? Wasn't it something about Americans shooting at each other?
Americans and Canadians.
Because I thought they were Japanese.
Yeah, they and Japanese have been gone for so long.
Yeah.
I guess we could talk about that. So, in World War II, a general, I think his name was Bill. Let me look it up. Basically, in World War II, between 42 and 43, that's a Pomeranian. That's not what I want. That's not an island. That's a dog. We were stationed out in Alaska for a bunch of islands because we weren't sure if the Japanese were going to come on that side and sort of go to Canada, come down, and then get into the United States. So we stationed a bunch of our guys and some Canadians out in, I think it's the Alamanian Island.
The Aleutian
The
Islands.
Aleutian, thank you. But the crazy thing about it is when you're so hyped up thinking that the other team is going to be there, you aren't really paying attention to who's actually out there. And it was the only time that we have been technically in combat on U.S. soil during World War II. And it wasn't
The Japanese.
the Japanese.
Because they had already
They
left.
Yep, they had already left because it was too damn cold. And we actually sustained casualties. And I think we sustained like almost 1,000 casualties and actually lost soldiers, which is super, super sad. But yeah, Aleutian Islands, because basically the thought was whoever held Alaska kind of held North America when it came down to it, especially with
all
the
that
Pacific.
oil.
Yeah, all that oil and it being so cold that everyone wants it to be so. Yeah, Billy Mitchell, that's who it was. U.S. General stated 35. I believe that in the future, whoever holds Alaska will hold the world. Maybe he really was the oil baron that we needed. But yeah, I'm not really up to snuff with the whole story, but it was wild because this happened.
Well, if I remember correctly, what ended up happening is the Americans landed on one side of the island, and the Canadians landed on the other side of
we
the
met
island.
in the middle.
And they met in the middle, and they both thought they were the Japanese because it was super foggy and stuff out, and the weather was bad. And at certain distances, they just opened fire on one another. And weirdly enough, a lot of Japanese guns are actually based off of British and Canadian guns, because why not when you're getting contracts and stuff from places like CZ for like the Bren?
It's true. Yeah. Before conflict, we were definitely, us being in the U.S., we were helping out a lot of people, especially with the pattern 14 rifle and the pattern 17.
Because like if you look at the Japanese, they have the Type 99, which is their top fed LMG. It's a Bren gun, just a Japanese Bren gun, because it was designed by CZ too.
Was that the one that was pretty much left-handed?
Yeah. No, it was right-handed. The stock was
It was inverted, right? So it was
the
like
stock was canted over,
interesting.
so you could get nice and centered on it. But yeah, friendly fire accidents happen in Alaska with the thinking they were Japanese, when in reality it was the Americans shooting at the Canadians. Maybe it was the only time the Canadians could say they beat America at war. Except for the fact that I think they would argue the War of 1812. But that's a story for a different day and a different time period.
Just trying to see what they were not actually. 40,000 ground troops, 500 Japanese. So there were some Japanese casualties, but yeah, I don't know. I guess you'll have to look it up yourself. Aleutian Islands campaign, super fascinating. It only lasted, I think, from June to August, so not very long. Because we won.
Yeah. Or because you're on a barren island up in.
Yeah,
remote
if you
country.
go, I believe if you go out there, there's museum pieces because there were submarines and military bases and stuff that just left because it was too damn cold to actually take it back. So it was just kind of left to the stands of time.
If you ever watched the TV show Deadliest Catch on Discovery Channel, in the first season, Mike Rowe was the narrator for it. He actually does a part of the narration from Dutch Harbor, and he's standing on top of one of the bunkers that was built to protect Dutch Harbor.
That's cool. Super, super cool. The more you know with Cameroni and G.
Sorry, I know too much information.
No, it's good. You're our little historian, Cam. But yeah.
What was the last story you had, Cam? That was a little bit of a sidetrack. But
Oh, my last story?
yeah.
So my last story is probably one of my favorites. It's from World War One because I love World War One, and it is the story of the Wolves of Tannenberg. So during World War One, there was two fronts: the Western Front, the Eastern Front. And on the Eastern Front, the Germans were fighting the Russians, and things drawed to a stalemate, like they did on the Western Front. And a bunch of wolves actually went into no man's land and were starting to eat the bodies and
Jeez.
stuff of both sides, and were actually attacking the Russians and the Germans at night.
I see where this is going.
And it got so bad that both sides went out under a white flag and called a truce for a couple of days just to hunt the wolves, so that way their troops would stop getting murdered by wolves. And it's a true story. In fact, if you've ever, there's a video game literally called Tannenberg, and they did an event in that game where if you're on the one map, you could actually fight the wolves. You had the option of calling the truce with the other side and going out and fighting the wolves instead of fighting each other.
Jeez. That's wild.
Right?
That's wild. I mean, that's happened. I mean, what we had, obviously, like certain times, like Armistice Day, Christmas, and stuff like that, they would do it. But you imagine it's like, all right, guys, listen, we have a better enemy.
Yeah. A pack of angry dogs.
Wolves. I don't know if I want to deal with Russian wolves.
Right?
Yeah, forget that.
Their giant yellow beady eyes coming at you.
Yeah.
Just imagine you're just sitting in your trench, you and Ivan, la 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 la, and all of a sudden Wolf comes in and starts attacking Ivan.
And you know those guys were like, those wolves were built different.
Yes.
Back then.
And you know Ivan only has a spike because
Yeah, and
the Russian army doesn't have enough guns for everybody.
They're
So Ivan's
already
going,
tired.
oh my
yeah.
god!
They're already tired. They want to go to sweep.
Yeah.
They're sick and tired of fighting, and then a wolf, and you're like, I can just imagine the first guy's like, well, of course. Why not? Why wouldn't we see this?
But yeah, wolves murdered people. There's also the story of the attack of the Dead Men, which is where the Germans attacked a Russian fort with chlorine gas and mustard gas. They thought they wiped out everybody in the fort, so they sent 7,000 men to charge the fort, and 100 of the Russians popped out of the trenches, covered in their own blood and stuff from choking on gas, and actually repelled the entire German attack because the Germans
probably shit in their pants. Like, what the?
wouldn't you shit yourself
Yeah,
if
but-
you all of a sudden are just you're
Zombies,
walking
yeah.
across no man's land and all of a sudden zombies pop up and start shooting at you and then all of a sudden you hear the artillery open up from
I
the
wonder
fort?
when was the first like story of a zombie actually written? I wonder if that had anything to do with like the undead.
I don't know. Well, because like the zombie entire thing, like movie, was what the 1960s with George Romero.
Yeah, I mean this is way before that.
Yeah, because like you could actually find newspaper articles that are literally the attack of the dead men.
First story of zombies. Oh man, 1697. Haitian folklore.
All right, zombie.
Voodoo priests were also said to bring zombies back to life. Okay, so never mind. I thought we were onto something. I thought I was onto something.
Now we're not.
On the History Channel, you can watch the origin of zombies. It's a cool story, Cam. Where are those? Where were those stories on the History Channel?
I don't know. I mean, I used to watch like Wild West Tech and stuff with
Ooh, that was fun.
was it David Carradine,
That sounds right.
the guy from Kill Bill?
Yes, that is him. Yep. Or Battlefield 360.
Yeah. Now they have like Pawn Stars and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Pawn Stars and the Storage Wars.
Yeah.
Are they still doing that?
Make History Channel great again.
Speaking of the aliens guy, the one that aliens, he's coming to Rochester
Really?
at the Kodak Center. Yeah.
Really? The one that they make the meme about that he's like
Yeah.
aliens and his hair's
It's
all
the aliens guy. He is going to the Kodak Center. I think
So-
he's coming in December.
So what you're saying is
Live stream from the Kodak Center with the aliens guy.
aliens.
I'd go see that. That'd be a lot of fun.
I wonder how many people are gonna go there just to make fun of him.
No, I think the people that are
Or
going
is-
to go there are going to be
Like
on his side.
on his side.
Grandma Cooper says, "Thank you, Cam."
Oh, thanks.
Some great history. It was some great history. I like that. I like being able to talk about that kind of stuff. But all right, I don't think anyone's asking us any questions. We gave a lot
Yeah.
in such a short amount of time. Yeah, that's true. But bringing it back again, third time's a charm. So Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be out here working on the building. So if anyone wants to come out and help, we'd really appreciate it. We are going to be pretty much putting up board and batten, and getting everything all buttoned up to look really, really pretty for grand opening. So if you want to come out and help with that, again, sneakers are probably not ideal. Definitely wear something to protect your toes. So boots would be awesome. We're going to be out here. I don't know. I'm gonna try to be out here at 8:00. You don't have to be here that early, but I would say between 9 and 10. Come out with a willingness to help, learn, and take a little bit of direction from Mr. Paul himself, because he is a wizard when it comes to building this. He's done a great job, and Brandon especially. They've been killing it. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. They are pretty much the backbone of the 2A community when it comes down to doing this for you and making it right. We are not a church, but we are a family for sure. Maybe the Church of John Moses Browning hasn't come out yet, but we'll think about it. We're here for you. Brandon, the Lewis family, they're all doing it for you. And if you want to help, do it for them and help them out with getting it ready to rock and roll. Hopefully by the first of the year, come out Saturday or Sunday or both. We'd love to see you. I know I'm going to be out here, like I said, Saturday. So come out and do that. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.